Are you ready, Ollie? Is it time for the video? I'm starting to think that he actually never got the memo. Don't do that, he's going to fall off again. Yeah, I think we sent a memo out that said the video is not starting until this afternoon, and you've been up there since at least 12 o'clock, haven't you? So it's action time. You look like you're ready. Hi there, it's Anne of Rosy Duck Designs here. So I'm back just to finish off what I had hoped to include in my video yesterday, but I'm aware that it all got a bit long, and I just thought it was probably better to do the crafting bit in a separate video. Oh, you really are engaging now, aren't you? Would you like your own piece of paper up there? Oh no, probably just getting comfortable. I'm giving up card videos. I'm just going to post videos of you online, I think, because you're more entertaining, aren't you? So, having put my video from yesterday on YouTube, I always play it through to see what mistakes I've made. So just a couple of things I did particularly pick up on was the hosting offer. I said, yet again I got it wrong, but it is £20 more in stamping rewards when your order is £200 or more, not exceeding £200. I will actually be glad when the hosting offer is done and done with, so I don't have to sort of keep getting it wrong. So that was my first mistake. There is blog post links on there about joining hosting and shopping, so right down the bottom of the front of the video, and the information on there is actually correct, because I took that off of Stampin' Up's literature. And the other thing that I also mentioned, I shared with you the sympathy card that I'd made using the Lily stamp set, and I mentioned that I'd put I actually said I put Whisper White around the darker bits. I actually meant Wink of Stella. I'm sure that's obvious, but I just got my Whisper Whites and my Wink of Stella totally mixed up. So it was a very small layer of Whisper White just to highlight the darker areas and just to sort of lift the flower a little bit off of the card. So that was my mistakes for yesterday. Yeah, so when I tried to upload the videos, having stuck the three together, that all went a bit wrong as well. So by the time it got uploaded last night, I really didn't have time to put all the links on. So I'm happy to say that every link that I said I would put on there is now on there. So there's shop, Pinterest, join my team, contact me, Facebook. No, not YouTube, it's on YouTube. And anyway, whatever else is the blog post to all the blogs I've done on Sale-A-Bration products. Right, so the final stamp set that we're going to go back to, now I have done a YouTube video on this already, but I just wanted to show you a little bit more of what it is capable of achieving. So previously we used this stamp and we made these cards here. So if you go back and just check that out, you can see that by using the Stamparatus, you can sort of keep moving it around and get that complete circular design. So there we go. And the little hearts were actually out of the dog punch. There's a little heart punch that's part of that, so that's quite handy when you're wanting some little hearts cut out. So as I say, that is covered in a previous video, but I just wanted to come back and just show you another couple of things that the stamp set is capable of achieving. it was designed primarily to work well with the Stamparatus, so that is what I'm going to attempt to use today. Now this card that I made is just basic black with lemon lime twist, and I have stamped on that with Memento ink, and it's literally the three of these stamps that I've used on there. So that's a very simple simple stamping card. Basically it's just card and ink, and stamped straight onto card, and the little note sentiment comes from the Home to Roost again, which is a Sale-A-Bration reward. So that was that one. Now this is another card that I've made again using this stamp set, and that is, this one has been stamped in Memento black ink, and then this one, which is designed to fit, so those little dots there are designed to fit in these little circles, and that has been embossed in Blueberry Bushel, which is one of the 2018-2020 in colours, and we do have embossing powder for all of the 5 2018-2020 colours. So that's the card that I'm going to recreate, hopefully. I'll try and recreate. That has been heat embossed using white embossing powder, and the sentiment is from, again, a Sale-A-Bration stamp set, Part of My Story, and it's obviously this one. So I'm going to do a slightly different colour. I'm going to go with Lovely Lipstick. So I've got a piece of basic black cardstock, as usual, 8x6, scored at 4, and then folded down, nice crisp fold with my bone folder. Got two pieces of Lovely Lipstick, and they are 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And on this one, towards the top of the card, I've used the stitched layering framelits. Just have a check. So I've used these ones, stitched shapes framelits. So this is the set where you get a choice of circles, ovals and squares. So you get a number of each of those shapes in that set, and you get this little edge when you cut it out. So I actually want the circle, I just want the blank circle, but having cut that out, I can just keep hold of that, because I'm sure that's going to be very useful to add perhaps a sentiment onto, and or even a daisy or something, because it's a shame to waste it. It's a very nicely cut out circle. And then I've got one piece of Whisper White at 3.5 by 5.5. So if I put part of the card together, of course I've forgotten something. If only you could see the face. How are you saying no? I've forgotten my snail. I won't be 2 seconds. You could just leave the camera going on, Ollie, if you wish. It's up to you. Can we have a bit of action, Ollie? Because look, Mummy's forgotten her snail again. Right, I'm back. Like I said, who needs card videos? So I've got my complete piece of Lovely Lipstick, and I'm just going to attach that into the centre of my card. I wouldn't mind, but I got my order this morning, and there was 6 new snails in there. It's ironic that I managed to still start my video without one. Moving the cat hair. Now on here, I just want a bit of design. I'm going to have it as basically as a little note card, but I just want some form of design on there. So I won't use Blueberry Bushel because that's not the colour of this card. I'll use lovely lipstick. That sounds like a plan. Let's go with that one. So the bigger of the two. It's got some sort of a distinctive cross shape really across the middle, so I'm putting my stamp on so that I've got the 4 corners so that I can use that to just line that up with my piece of card, because I just want half of that. So I'm actually going to go for there so that I just get that bit on the corner. And that is literally all I'm going to do in the inside, because I want this area to be able to write a message. So I'll just stick that in with my snail. And while I've then got the stamp on the block, I might as well do the envelope. So again, I'm just going to go with the same idea of just a little bit of design here in the corner. Again, layering or lining it up rather with that bit gives you quite a good percentage of the design without going totally over the top. Now, because you obviously put the address or the name in the middle, I think we could probably go with one in the corner over here. So that's the envelope. So far so good. We've got an envelope and we've got a card in one piece. That's quite good for me, really, isn't it? It won't last, we all know that. That was the envelope that matched that one. So I've used this stamp, which is that stamp, to give me my design on the envelope. And this little one here is like a really good filling in stamp. So, clean that off. So my title of the last video, the final countdown, I've actually amended that. It actually read the final countdown to Sale-A-Bration, implying it was on its way rather than about to end. So I've renamed that video to Countdown to the End of Sale-A-Bration, which, just as a reminder, is actually the 31st of March. So there are now just 6 days left if you want to take advantage of any of the aspects of that promotion. But the title just brought to mind the song The Final Countdown. Now, of course, you'll have to be of a certain age to remember that, way back in the 80s. But it was a good song if you don't know it. But that also led me to one of these little quotes that I found on Pinterest the other day that said, "Why is it that I can remember all of the lines from songs of the 80s, but I can't remember what I went into the kitchen for?" And that, I have to say, struck a chord with me. I'm actually not bad with the kitchen, but with me it's normally, what did I come upstairs for? And also, as I display every time I do a video, what is this stamp set called? Where did I get this from? It's in the catalogue somewhere. Now, I have forgotten something else, but I'm not going to. I'm not even going to go there because I'm going to have a stroppy cameraman. So all I'm going to do, I've forgotten that got dirty last time, so I've forgotten that. So I'm going to just take a bit of this off. That will go in the bin anyway. Let's use those. But what you want is one of those little grid papers that fit with the Stamparatus. But that's fine. See, the problem is I had everything yesterday, although to be fair I had forgotten that, but I seemed to have everything yesterday and I had to put it all away again. So the first thing I want is, I've just got a piece of Whisper White there, and I've cut that at 3 by 5. So excuse the scruffy bit of paper. And I want this obviously so that that goes onto there. So I'm aiming to put my design somewhere in there. Oh, are you going? You've waited all this time and then we couldn't wait any longer. You all know it goes wrong when you disappear. So I'm just marking a line basically where I want the centre roughly of the stamp to lie, just to give me a bit of a guide. You don't have to be exact. So I want this one. So I'm going to put the one I want. That's the one I want. So I'm going to put that so roughly the middle bit goes across here, and it's marrying up there with my lines that I've drawn on with my pencil there. So then I'm bringing my Stamparatus plate up. I've just got the one magnet because we all know that they can merge together. But if you've got a particularly larger piece of paper, then using the 2 magnets would not be a bad idea at all. Just do keep them away from each other. I'm not doing a repeat performance of that today. So this is Memento black ink that I've used on there. I've also forgotten my baby wipes as well, but we won't even mention that. They were on the floor yesterday, they were all ready. So we've got now this stamp, and we've got the little dots here which are designed to fit in to the circles on there. And this is where the Stamparatus really does come into its own, because I can place it by hand. I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to then just take that up. Now what I also need to do before I do anything else is just run over the area that I'm going to emboss with my embossing buddy. Now what that does, it just stops excess powder sticking to areas that you don't want it to stick to. So then I've got my Versamark pad, just going over my design with that. In theory that's going to pop back down there. You won't know till I've embossed it. But let's hope so. I've actually found that they fit on quite well on the side of the Stamparatus, and I don't lose it. Obviously have these little areas underneath to keep your magnets, but that actually has been working for me by just leaving it there. It's clinging to the base while I'm sort of coming backwards and forwards using it, and I'm not putting it down on the desk and losing it. So let me just move that out of the way. So I've just got a piece of plain photocopying paper. for a moment. And then I'm going to take my lovely Lipstick embossing powder, and then I'm just going to shake that over the area that I've embossed. I'm just going to then tap that off. I always keep a little brush, paintbrush with me to take off anything that I don't think should be there, but that looks absolutely fine. So I need to just pour this back in my pot. Now, I have said on a previous video when I've embossed things that that is the way I've always done it, but I have seen other demos using like little pots with their powder in it, and they just spoon it over, which looks quite efficient, I have to say. But the bottom line is you want embossing powder across the area that you've stamped, and then just remove all the excess before you start to then heat it up. So I'm just going to do that. So, as I've mentioned before, this is not a Stampin' Up heat tool. It's one I've had for ages, and I have to say that until it breaks, I can't justify just replacing it for the sake of it. But the Stampin' Up one, which is £28, is really good because it does have two speeds on it. So you've got a lower speed, which is great if you're trying to dry ink, and then you've got the higher level, which melts the embossing paste. So yeah, if you've not got one, well worth having a look at that. So now what I needed to do first, I have to say, is trouble. I have so many things going through my mind. I think, well, I must mention this and I must mention that, and it all starts to go a bit wrong. I brought 3 in with me, so that's all right, isn't it? That's good. There we go. So I want this is the piece of Whisper White, I want that, first of all, I want that stuck to my lovely lipstick. Now, as long as it's not sticking out either end, I'm not that bothered about, you know, that being particularly central with this, because no one's going to see it. So, centralising that. So the idea is you don't stick that bit first, you stick this bit. But, you know, let's make it a change. You can actually see that that is just slightly, just going to trim that across the top. Right. So back to normal service now. That was how not to do it. So there's quite a bit of thickness here, so I'm just wanting to make sure that I'm sticking that down effectively. I'm going to stick that onto my card. Now, if I hadn't done that incorrectly, I wouldn't be sticking it on my card, because I would still, it wouldn't be sticky, and I would then do my next bit of embossing. But we'll just roll with it. So I want to put a little sentiment down the bottom here, and I'm going to use white again. So again, I've got my Embossing Buddy. I'm just running that over the area, and I'm going to use, I could use this sentiment out of here, the lots of love, miss you, You're pretty much the best ever. They're really nice sentiments, but I'm a great one for having cards stacked up that I can just grab for any occasion that I might need. So Just a Note is a really good sentiment because it covers all sorts of occasions. So I've got my little C block here. I'm just going to put that in the middle. And again, taking my Versamark. Pop that down there. And getting my piece of paper again. I've got some white embossing powder now. I'm just going to, without the cat's hair, just going to roll that over there and then just tip it off. Again, that's come off nice and cleanly, but it's always worth having a little paintbrush handy just in case there's the odd speck that you don't want where it has landed. Let's put the lid on. We don't want a snowstorm, do we? And I'm just going to heat that through. So as I say, I would have done that and then stuck it on the card, but that's fine, it's worked. Not the end of the world. So that is just another idea of how you can use that particular stamp set. I'm just going to have a very quick go at doing that without the Stamparatus. I've got 25 minutes now. I've got to say I've not tried it without the Stamparatus, so whether this is going to work or not, I really don't know. But we'll give it a go. So I'm sticking that one back on, which is the Memento black ink. And on there, that's the other. I'm just going to clean the Versamark off of that. I'm just going to go back on with, in this instance, I'm going to have a go with the blueberry bushel. So we're not embossing this, we're just trying to ink stamp it, and I'm trying to do it using my eye rather than the Stamparatus, she said. We're going for a laugh. There we go. So I don't think it's going to be perfect, but it's not bad. So it gives a different look, obviously, because it's a darker, when it goes on as ink, it's darker than when you emboss it. But just shows you can use the set without having to have the Stamparatus. Although it's a really good investment. It's £45, I think, thereabouts. And it's a really good replacement tool, I have to say. Right, I'll clear that all off when we're finished. My order came this morning, as I said, and I did say that I'd ordered one of the Share What You Love embellishment kits, which was one of the things from the annual catalogue that were added on the 1st of March. So it comes nicely sealed. So I haven't opened it because I wanted to open it on camera to show you. Because I did say in a previous video, even if you don't want this yourself, this would make a brilliant little gift for somebody who is a friend that loves to craft. And the Stampin' Up sentiment on the front is just lovely. Even if it's for yourself, when the kit is finished, I think this is going to be a lovely little box to just keep little bits and pieces in. So I don't want to don't want to spear it. Let's hope the tablet's in a good mood. If not, I'll be sticking more videos together. So this is really going to be the very last video that I do on Sale-A-Bration. So just to recap, it finishes on the 31st of March, and the Sale-A-Bration coordinating products as well that have been available, whilst the frog framelits and the cupcake framelits have sold out. The other coordinating products, again, you can only get them until the 31st of March. So there's a little box. It's as much a mystery to me as it is you, because I've not had one of these before. So it comes with some very pretty little labels, which you could use as gift labels, or just to then add, imagine that on a card, that would work well, wouldn't it, with a sentiment on it. So you don't have to use it as a label. There's some bigger ones there, very nicely die cut elements of that as well. And there's a couple of reels of baker's twine in there, and we've got some little paper clips and some little roses, which again, some little metal roses that have already got the sticky bit on the back, and these little miniature paper clips. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm glad I went for that, and that will be available in the catalogue beyond Sale-A-Bration, because it's a catalogue product, that's a Sale-A-Bration product. So I will be back with another video just featuring something either from the annual catalogue or from the spring summer catalogue. Just a couple of reminders, we are getting towards the point where the new catalogue will be revealed to us as demonstrated as next month, and will go live on the 4th of June. Now that still seems a way away, but the 2017-2019 colours are running out, so they are on the limited product list now. So if you want any of those colours, then don't delay in putting in your order for that. So as I say, I think that's all I've really got to say about Sale-A-Bration. If you enjoyed this video, do please give me a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel if you'd like to do that. All that happens is that you get notified when I upload a video, and you get to choose whether or not you'd like to view it. Usual links: shop, join my team, contact me, Facebook, Pinterest, and the other one that I keep forgetting, Instagram, that's the one. They're all on the front of the video. So until next time, I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to do, so it will be a surprise. So thanks ever so much for joining me, and until next time, take care, bye.